Hello. Today we're going to talk about how motivation is not the key to success. And I know, coming from a personal trainer, I try to be as motivational as I can, but I'm here to tell you that motivation is not as important as everyone thinks it is. Now, I used to be one that thrived on motivation, okay? Like, I would not do anything unless I was motivated. Like, I wouldn't start, that business. I wouldn't start that workout plan. I wouldn't start eating healthy until that motivation kicked in. Now, I'm here to tell you that that was really stupid. And I know that is going to sound absolutely insane that I'm telling you that waiting for motivation was one of the dumbest things that I could have possibly have done. We are all humans and motivation is not there 24/7. We get burnt out, we get tired, and we lose it completely, and that is completely normal. I am not going to sit here and tell you that I am motivated 24/7. There are weeks where I have a complete creator block. I want to come home from work and I just want to lay in bed and binge my favorite show. I'm not sitting editing videos, making plans, promoting, doing any of that because my motivation has gone out the window. So, I'm going to be here and be realistic with you that running your life only strictly on being motivated is going to be the reason why you fail. And I don't mean that in a harsh way, okay? I'm not saying you're going to fail. But I'm saying that if you're constantly waiting for motivation, you may not get anywhere. And the reason is because you're not always going to have it. And that is the hard honest truth is motivation comes and it goes. And that is for every single person out there. Motivation will always come and go. It's not going to stick with you 24/7. Now, the thing that is going to help you is consistency. And I'm sure you see a lot of people saying, stay consistent, like if you're going to the gym and you're not motivated one day, just go. Be consistent because one day you will see results. It's the same as business, it's the same as school. Consistency is key. And I know that sounds cliche, but it is. It truly is the key to success in any endeavor that you choose to do. Now, I'm going to put it into my perspective with my life. I've always dreamt and starting my own personal training business. It has been a dream of mine since I was in grade 11. It was something that I went and took kinesiology in university. It is something that I always dreamt of doing, but I always waited. I put it in the back burner and said, one day I'm going to start it. One day I'm going to get that motivation. One day I'm going to boot myself in the butt and I'm going to do it. And that wasn't the case for me. I did eventually just bite the bullet and start my business and start everything, but I only did it when I was motivated. I just stopped posting. I stopped promoting. I never stopped taking care of my clients, of course, like that is my job. But the growth aspect, I only ever did anything when I was motivated. And newsflash, my business did not grow. It did not grow. And that is for anything. If you're trying to be a content creator or if you're trying to lose a bunch of weight in the gym. If you're only doing any of this stuff when you're motivated, you're truly not going to see results. And I noticed that so heavily when I started my business. The time that my business skyrocketed is when I would come home from work and I would work like all day and then I would come home and work all night. And I don't mean an hour or two. I mean, I would sit down for 6 hours and I would make plans. I would make promotion. I would be posting. I would be filming videos. And you know what? I was exhausted. I was so tired. I had no motivation. But the thing that I learned is the only reason why I blew up the way that I did is because I was consistent and I treated it as a business. And that is for anything. Like, if you are consistent, you are going to see results. And, yeah, be motivated, motivation is a great thing. But strictly relying heavily on motivation to be successful is never going to be your key to success. Do you think that, like, the most successful people that you see, do you think they have motivation 24/7? I can guarantee you they don't. Even though if they're posting like they do, I can guarantee you they do not have motivation 24/7. The only reason why they have been not the only reason, but one of the biggest reasons why they have been successful is they stayed consistent on the days they were tired, the days that they wanted to sleep, the days that they were lazy, the days that they had absolutely no drive to do anything. They stayed consistent. The motivation wasn't there, but the consistency was. And that is like the key factor when it comes to doing anything and being successful. Because if you rely heavily on motivation, you will not get there. And that is the harsh factor of everything. And that is what I want to shine a light on. And what I had to have a really harsh reality at is that when I'm really motivated, I kick butt. I am consistently doing everything and I see growth. That motivation goes out the window and I just flatline. Like I don't do anything. I strictly put all my goals to a halt. And I quickly learned that I am going to get nowhere in life if that is what I'm going to do. So I'm here to give you the harsh truth on consistency because I think that it is such a factor that plays a role into everything. So, to take away from this video is if you have a big goal, whether it's to lose weight, go to the gym 4 days a week, start that business, go to school, like anything, you cannot rely on motivation. And I'm going to teach you this because it is something that I wish someone taught to me a couple years ago because I might have, been in a different place today. And it is the harsh truth, but it is something that is so important and it is something that I preach because I never learned it and I learned it the hard way, okay? Like I learned it the hard way. And now that I've learned it, I hustle on days where I literally have no oomph. Like I don't have anything to give. And I'm not going to sit behind a camera and do that. That is not what I'm saying. But even if it's something small that's going to accelerate, whether, you have gym goals and you want to go to the gym 4 days a week, I'm not saying go pump out a 2 hour workout if that is something that you physically cannot do, but go for a 20-minute walk. At least it is something. You are staying consistent on something that you've had. If you're going to school and you say you're going to read your textbooks 30 minutes every single night, like just do it, even if you're not motivated. And it is just for everything in life. Okay, so the key takeaway to take from this video is do not rely on motivation. I wish that I didn't learn this the hard way. I wish that someone just sat me down and said, Taylor, if you rely on strictly motivation, you are going to get nowhere. And I learned it the hard way of everything moving really, really, really slowly and me questioning in my head, what am I doing wrong? And it wasn't necessarily what I was doing wrong. Like, I was posting, I was getting clients, but it was slow. And the one thing that was, slowing down my progress in anything that I was doing was I was not consistent. And that is just the harsh reality of everything. And that is what I want to throw out there is if you are not consistent, you will not grow. Do not rely on motivation because you will not have it 24/7. So if you made it to this end of the video, thank you so much for listening. I know it was a tough one, but it is just something that needs to be talked about more. And I know it is slowly coming to light, but I just thought that it was something as a business owner, as a personal trainer, and as someone that has her own goals, it is something that I had to learn really quickly. And it is something that, again, I wish somebody told me. So I am here to tell you just stay consistent no matter what is going on. Consistency is key. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.